Oh no! Oh no! I don't think I actually pressed the go live button. Uh-oh. Spaghetti-o. Let's see if it actually... Oh, this is big news. Oh my gosh. That lag is about to be so crazy. Okay. Well, damn, guys. I've done this almost a year and some change. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi guys. Welcome to Office Hours with Amber. Uh okay. Well, actually, you know what? I think that was a joke from the universe to knock my shit off. Honestly, that was good. So anyways, welcome to Office Hours with Amber. 4 minutes late. One, I've never been late for Office Hours with Amber, and I've only missed 1 week in a year and a half. So that's kind of a bummer. I think it was the universe telling me to fucking relax. So honestly, God bless. Okay. I'm so annoyed that happened. Okay. Let me make sure. And that was the only time I've ever not pressed the audio button or like not checked the audio because I was like, I've done this so many times in a row. There's no chance that today is the day that it goes wrong. I'm so furious. I'm so annoyed that happened. Okay. The audio is actually on. We're here. Anyways, happy birthday to me. My birthday was yesterday. And if you're new to Office Hours with Amber, or if this is your first week, or if you're here for Excel or business process, today is not that. Today is absolutely not that. And I just did this intro offline, so if I jumble it up, it's my birthday. You can't stop me. Anyways, so the two parts of P2 profitability is profitability, which is normally what engineering improv and Office Hours with Amber is about, where I'm going into like the technical bits of what makes a successful business. Today is not that. Today is the other side, is Peachy. And so Peachy is the warm, fuzzy human side of businesses. And sometimes people are bummed. So, realistically, today I'm going to be starting with 31 lessons I've learned in 31 years, which I think some are fun, some are whatever, some are touchy-feely. We're going to get through them. But basically, if you are here and you are not in a place to talk about depression, mental health, mourning, any of that, that is so okay. We will meet up again next week on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Today, I'm just going to be letting the full marbles loose because it's my birthday and I can do whatever I want to. And I think, if you're here for the Excel, not it. If you're a burnt out middle manager woman existing with ADHD and a little bit of burnout, this is the episode for you to at least commiserate a little bit, perhaps at least realize that you're not the only one. And I'm actually kind of glad that the thing messed up in the beginning because I'm feeling silly goofy now. Okay. Before we get into that, my birthday was this weekend. I got to gather with so many friends and family, which was really nice. And the rest of this episode, I'm going to be doom, gloom, and kind of a piece of shit. So we have to be able to hold the duality of I'm very grateful for my friends, but also my social anxiety was fucking peaked. So if you're hearing this as my friend, none of this is to be taken personally. It is only a personal diary entry to the internet, because what I want to do is in a few months, when my meds and my hormones and everything has changed, I want to look back and be like, oh yeah, she was going through some stuff. Other thing is some other topics we're going to be getting into is mental health, reproductive health, hormones, the real full encompassing ADHD adult woman experience. Anyways, I digress. with all that out of the way, I got some pretty good gifts this weekend. I don't like to play favorites, but are you kidding me? If you are unfamiliar with what this beautiful thing is it's a 3D printed card holder. So you unscrew this thing. This was printed by my bestie friend Jennifer. You could put your credit card into there, screw this bad boy back on, and then when you go to pay for something, if you have tap to pay, poop, poop. What a brilliant work of engineering, because whoever figured this out had to figure out that the material that this makes is thin enough that you can tap to pay through it, which is literally the most brilliant thing that I've ever experienced. And I will be using this all the time, purely to create whimsy and joy with whoever I interact with. I think this is, of the depression I'm about to talk about today, this actively cured at least 2% of it. So God bless. Another one of my favorite gifts that I encourage everyone who should get it is I'm not much of I sleep pretty easily, but I didn't know how much better my sleep could be until I got the Nod Pod. And this thing looks silly because you're like, wait, it's a eye mask and it just lays on your face and you're like, yep. So it's just got these little like beanbag, ooh, ASMR. Little bean bags that just lay on your eyes. And then you can wrap these around your head. And there's like a little slot in this one where you can kind of put it together. Don't even need to, because within 2 minutes you're going to be asleep. Then it falls off, no worries. And then if you're sleeping on one side of your face, you just move it over one and it wraps around the side. God bless. And you might be like, if a $35 eye mask? Yeah. Get 2 of them because I like to be able to travel with one. Also machine washable. I found that out when I got my second one. Third, okay, so that was from my friend Kim. Third, also, I encourage you all to make a birthday registry. That's the smartest shit I've ever done. I got the best gifts because I picked them out. Like my every friend hit my gifts, like got me the best gift because it was exactly what I wanted. But it didn't feel like this transactional thing. It was like, of all of these things, they all picked something that was very familiar to them. Like, my business friend got me a keyboard. My friend Jenny Jenny's was not on this was not on my list, but I sent her a TikTok of, I was like, how funny is this? But it's like perfectly in her wheelhouse. I feel very blessed. It's also like specifically Jenny gift. Similarly, my friend Kim is very much into like cozy comfies. She also got me a robe. And it was a nice way for my friends to express their individuality and show me care, but also get me like the most fantastic things that I absolutely wanted from a list I picked out. And then they could just deliver it to my house. Like it just delivers to my house. Registries for birthdays, please make them because I want to get you exactly what you want. It's your birthday. But look at this. If you did not know, I collect keyboards, not in like a collector way. Like I'm not going to have a wall of keyboards. I like to collect functional keyboards. So if you're unfamiliar with my game, here's the keyboard I use on the day-to-day for my work. And this one is I could not even tell you what the brand is. Corsair K70. But what I like about it is it's got this little dial, so I feel like a DJ when I'm like operating my computer. It's also got a bunch of really nice buttons, but I've been looking for a wireless keyboard, so when I'm on my laptop or if I'm like full lounger, I don't have any wireless keyboards at my house, so I put it on the list, and my girl Monica got me this one, and it came with all of these cute like caps that you could put on whatever keys. And so cute. And I didn't realize, so this little egg key, it's on most keyboards, I just didn't know about it, is essentially like your right click button, so you can get the options of whatever cell or whatever your cursor's highlighted on. You can get like the right click options, because I didn't know that there was a button for that. But I put my little egg on there because it's basically the inside of an egg. Maybe it's a flower. Who could be sure? Anyways, so cute. So, had a lot of fantastic gifts, had a lot of fantastic fun. We all went to, it was a real Hoosier weekend. We went to the Gun Lake Casino. There's like this internal Huawei oasis, so fun. It had like swim up pool bars. So it was super fun to like gather so many people from different areas of my life. But what I didn't realize was going to happen is that my social anxiety was going to eat me alive from the inside out. I think I'll save that side of the story for the end. But anyways, it was a beautiful weekend. If you were there, God bless. Mom, thank you for being there for so much of it. And yeah, okay. So before I start, there is a TikTok video I saw by a girl, Hannah Glenn. Her TikTok's linked in the description, but her like name is Hannah Glenn on TikTok. But there was an interesting video, and she named it "Optimization is Stealing Our Lives." And as a person who works in optimization, I thought it might be a good idea to watch it. And then it was like very inspiring. And for instance, if you work, let's say, in beverage manufacturing, there are things that you can do to encourage betterment for the environment, or you can make choices that worsen the environment. And so, for instance, if you're using a bunch of ingredients that are really bad for people, if you're using non-recyclable materials, if you're using, like, you're paying your workers like minimum wage barely, and creating poor working conditions. Those are all choices that you could make inside of your business, but you also have the opportunity to make better choices. And so as AI is taking off, I'm kind of learning more about what is responsible stewardship of optimization and continuous improvement while not letting it get to a place of rampant, how to say this? It's like at the base of the reason my business exists is I want to save people time so they have more time to do things they actually enjoy, that actually fill their cup, that better the business and that are more helpful for the business, but not just reusing that time that you save to just drive harder at a goal or profitability, or like driving towards something that's so deeply like not connected with your values. Like, that's something I think is weirdly in all of this AI boom stuff. People are now being held to a higher standard of being able to get work done without, like, they're having all these time savings, but not actually now using that free time to like better themselves holistically. It's just being seen as, hey, Eric, what I'm seeing with the AI stuff is just hiring the expectation of people to be able to work under the same circumstances rather than kind of creating better quality of life for the people using it. And so I liked this video, Hannah Glenn's video, where she talks about the things that optimization removes from her life, and she compares it to a cup of tea. So anyways, I'm going to show you this little video that I think was important and impactful as I build Eric, you are absolutely in the right place for burnt out and in business. You might be missing maybe a few hormones that I'm going to talk about, but you've already heard most of my gripes. So anyways, the TikTok I think is interesting, and we're going to watch it in totality because I think she's got good points.
Our lives. This week I've been writing about how efficiency killed my cup of tea. It all started when the office that I work in got a boiling water tap. I used to think these things were great. They sounded ideal. I would think that there would be endless cups of tea on demand. The first day I drank too many cups of tea. The second day the novelty wore off. And the third day it started to annoy me. I was having a bad day. I hadn't gotten enough sleep the night before, and I got an email that really overwhelmed me. So I got up to make myself a cup of tea. When I went to the kitchen, and I saw the tap, my heart sank. In my mind, I was about to have a break. I was going to go to the kitchen, fill the kettle up, watch it boil, maybe talk to whoever came into the kitchen, wait for the tea to cool down, wait for it to brew, and then I'd go back to my desk. The tap eliminated all of that. It filled up my cup too quickly. I stood there aimlessly for a few seconds, and then I went back to my desk and looked at the stressful email again. That efficiency has stolen something from me that I didn't even know I had, the ability to pause, the ability to focus on something else. This isn't just about the tap. The tap is a sign of the times. Humanity is constantly forsaken in the name of efficiency. I didn't realize that part of the joy of making the cup of tea was the ritual of it. It gave me the chance to wait, to pause, to talk to someone new, and it all made the tea taste better. Before the tap, I thought all of that stuff was tedious, but now I'm realizing that was the point. That was all part of my life, and without it, I'm fast forwarding through living. All for what? To get back to my desk faster. I think we're in an optimization crisis. In theory, all this stuff sounds good, but the reality is we're always somehow worse off. They streamlined friendship, moved it all online. Somehow we're all lonelier and more anxious. They made dating more efficient, turned it into a game, and now no one's having sex and everybody hates each other. They optimized communication, made us all contactable 24/7. Now people's entire job is emailing, and when they go home, all they do is doom scroll. All of this stuff was pitched to make things easier for us, to improve our lives. They told us it was for our sake. It doesn't seem like we're learning from this. Efficiency seems to seep its way into every crack of our lives, and the current proposal is that they want to optimize us. They want to think for us, write for us, do everything for us. If the tap wreaked this much havoc on my life, I don't really want to know what AI might do, the depths of life that it might steal from us. I'm not even exaggerating or joking when I say that the tap made me question the meaning of life, because it made me realize that part of the point of life is the mundane, is the inefficiency. Who am I without the pauses? What if I never have to talk to someone ever again while I wait? What if all the in-between moments get taken away from my life? Because ultimately the tea that comes from the evil tap is worse, both conceptually and literally. Is that what all of life is going to feel like if humanity is optimized out of us? If you'd like to read my essay on this,
Oh,
it's on my Substack along with a lot of other stuff that I've written. Optimization is
but yes, I thought that was just such like a deeply insightful way to like think about it. And as someone who works in optimization and like professional optimization and efficiency, then I've looked at, and I've already been kind of on this journey personally. Like I've been de-engineering my personal life because, and not specifically the way she's saying, like I'm not, like it's almost the opposite, but like on Sundays, whether the laundry is full or not, I run laundry. I do dishes. Like whether it's optimized or not, we're doing those tasks. And that's where I've been on the fence about a lot of the agentic AI and all of that lately, which I guess we can use as like my 31st lesson, if you will, because I learned it very recently. But it's like partially because I don't completely trust anything to have full autonomy over my computers, my files, my everything. And like maybe I do kind of like being the data janitor and the administrative assistant in my own world. And so I don't know, I've been like weighing on the like my full opinion of AI. And like what I've also been realizing is when I first started using ChatGPT and Claude and all of those, I could give it half of a thought. It would kind of pick up what I was putting down and help me get to an answer. Now I'm looking at all of these like prompt engineer people who are saying here's a 7-part series of questions you need to ask before you even answer ask Claude the first question to get the exact perfect answer out. And I'm like, if I'm taking all of this time to explain exactly what I need, why not just go through them? Like there are certain things that I would like to be able to speed up, but like it's taking the funny part is by using that prompt structure, a well-defined problem is half solved. So you're really just solving the problem yourself before you even give it to the AI. And then at that point, I'm like, why would I even, I don't know. I've been really getting a bit disinterested with AI lately, even if as it's been getting better. It's in the way a normal human being would use it. It's just been getting kind of worse and weird. And I don't know, I'm still open-minded, but I'm getting a little bit more skeptical as it goes. But anyways, it was interesting to hear her talk about like all of the ancillary things by optimizing this process we take out. Now, most of the time, what I'm trying to do when I'm working with businesses is decrease the things that nobody wants to do. Everybody kind of hates. There's not like more of the things that like create so many downhill, like for instance, if someone does inventory wrong and then someone else has to do billing wrong and then someone else has to get yelled at, like I kind of I like to decrease friction, not remove the happy parts of someone's job. And so that's where I've been, as AI grows, I'm kind of checking back in with myself of like, okay, what does my business actually value and how do I perpetuate those values through the actions? And that's similar. I mean, that hasn't changed too much since I started because I'm not a consulting firm where I'm just going to come in and tell you to cut headcount. That is almost literally, unless someone is a poison to your organization, I'm almost never going to suggest that because normally people have unutilized talents that could actually drive your business in a whole new way. So anyways, I just thought it was important to say that because I saw that TikTok and it like struck so deeply to my core. But anyways.
Wow, oh my gosh, what a beautiful angel queen princess girl.
I clicked the wrong button. I meant to do this one. Okay. Now we're getting to the actual point of this video. So for the next 20-ish minutes, I'm going to talk about the 31 lessons that I've learned in my 31 years of life. In no specific order, really. Okay. Number one, life is all kind of made up, so do whatever you want. And there's so many times in my life that I've just kind of looked around and been like, you can just do that. Like, I've been waiting for allowance from the mythical whoever for like I've been waiting for permission to do so many things that I do, like, you don't have to. And I think one big inspiration I've had in the last year is definitely Jennifer Magley, where she just gives herself permission to do fucking anything she wants. She's like, yeah, you're going to keep seeing me on your Instagram. You're going to know I'm here. You're going to know I'm loud and I'm like, this is what I got going on. And it's like, yeah, you could just do that. And then this is a long pull back from high school, but there was a guy, and if anyone puts the keys together on who it is, congrats, you get a treat. There was a guy in my high school photography class that was using Photoshop for his projects. And instead of being ridiculed by the teacher of like, why would you use that? It's a photography class, not a Photoshop class. The teacher was like, wow, these look fantastic. And didn't quite really care that he was using Photoshop. But I knew how to use Photoshop. And if I would have known that you could use Photoshop, I would have used it because then I could have made my photos so much better. And then that's one of those moments. He went on to become a very, very, very successful photographer doing amazing things. And even to this day, just there's a little bit of that weird jealous envy that's just like, he just did stuff that he wanted to do and he got away with it. And people just now he just takes really fantastic photos and probably Photoshop and After Effects and all that stuff. But anyways, like, lesson number one is just like, it's all made up, so do whatever the fuck you want. Anyways, number two, dating stories cannot be your most prominent feature to your friends. Your honesty, candor, and humor and vulnerability is what they actually cared about. When I was in like my 19 to 26-year-old self, what I realized is I love entertaining friends, and I didn't realize that my dating life was so beyond interesting because I'm interesting and I storytell well. And so when I realized that I was going on all of these dates I wasn't going on them to document them. I was going on them, and then the stories that came later, I felt like every time I hung out with friends, I had to do the whole song and dance, and I was this court jester for my friends. And when I stopped doing that and stopped telling everyone about my dating life, people fell off and they're like, oh, well, Amber's I would start talking more about work more. And then they just stopped. There was a subsect of friends that just weren't as interested in what I had to say when I wasn't a big entertaining like jester for them. So that was a big thing of finding friends that appreciate your honesty, candor, and vulnerability is much more important than trying to create dating stories. On the same note, if he ghosts you for any reason, he wasn't the one anyway. So don't try to go make him see like, like you ghosted me, and then hope that by you pointing it out stands in your power. No, girlfriend, you are not standing in your power. You look like an idiot. So just let him ghost you and move on. Not all of these are about boys. Pinky promise. Number 4. Values over shame will save your life, give you years back to it. I've talked about this quite at length a few times, but like when working with my ADHD coach, Lynn, finding out at the age of like 29 that the internal monologue of, oh, I should do this, otherwise they'll think I'm stupid. Oh, I like really need to get this report done because I said I would. And like all of these shoulds and justs in my brain, like you didn't have to live through those. You just have to like center yourself on values, which is still a practice I have to go with today, because when we get into this depression section, depression will suck you right out of any good mental health habits that you've created. Like this week, it's just been so difficult because I know that every word I say to myself, internally or externally, my nervous system believes. Whether I know it's true or not, my internal mechanisms in my brain do not know if it's true or not. So it believes everything. So if my internal monologue is saying, oh, you're so lazy, you're so this, you're so that, you're like letting everyone down, all of these things, my nervous system believes it. And that's why it's so hard. You have to work on what you say to yourself out loud. And that's why when my friends are saying, like, I catch shoulds and justs, like, oh, I should just be able to do this. Those words are so insidious and can cause you so much damage. And that's why I'm like always spotting it and going, notice this. Notice these words that you're saying to yourself, because your nervous system is clocking it, but you're not. Me too. And when you're depressed, your brain is more susceptible to the inner monologue. Your inner monologue is so freaking loud. Oh my gosh, that internal monologue just is screaming in your face. And so that's where, when you're not in that extremely deeply depressive state, working on value statements of, I value efficiency. I'm excited to learn more. Working through those statements, life-changing until you get depressed. And then it's just survival time. Anyways, okay. Number 5, journaling isn't a performance. It's a very useful tool for garbage disposal. So if you are unfamiliar, also, side note, if you are still here looking for Excel business tips and knowledge, ain't it? This is the burnt out business, fluffy female segment. So stick around if you want to, but I will have no qualms if you don't. Okay. Journaling isn't a performance. This, nobody explained to me. Because when you grow up and you're watching TV, it goes, Dear Diary, today I went on a walk. And they're like all the examples of journaling that you see are full sentences, good grammar, explaining the day and your emotions that are tied to that day. But not often do you realize that it's just, you can write and by doing the Artist's Way morning pages, she does a really good explanation of like how to break this perfectionist little rat in your brain about journaling. You could write down, I don't want to write. This is stupid. I hate this. I hate this. That's journaling. Writing things on paper to get the garbage out of your brain into a notebook that presumably should be seen by nobody. I think growing up also is nobody shares journals. Like everyone was very protective of their journals. So you never knew what other people were writing. You never knew the style of writing. And so I was never given like a blueprint of how journaling works. And so you get to your adulthood and people are like, have you tried journaling? Fuck off. That's the first thing. Because they always suggest it when you're in the middle of the pits. They don't explain it. They don't explain it in a way to say, this isn't a performance. Just throw up on the page. And what I really like about the Artist's Way is it makes you do 3 pages. So then you have to keep pulling, which is very similar. Yeah, the hand cramping. That is new. Nobody told me about that, other than us talking, Mom. The nice thing about the 3 pages is it's very similar to when you're in therapy and you're talking, and the best insights you get from therapy are after you've got that top layer of bullshit off. So imagine you've got a beer and you've got about 1.5 inches of the foamy head carbonated part before you get to like the real substance of the beer. Most of the time in an hour-long talk therapy session, you're getting through the fluffy, what's happening today, what are you feeling, whatever. It's almost the best, and it's you're fighting your entire internal working mechanisms the whole time. Because you're like, I have nothing to say. I should just cancel. Like, what am I even doing? And that is when your best insights come out, because it's underneath all of those layers without having to like double click too far into like, what am I thinking? What am I thinking? It's like, no, it's ready. It's just right there. It's just been waiting its turn for everything else to part ways. So some of the journaling I do is truly like halfway through a sentence. If I'm bored with the sentence, I'm done with it. I stop halfway, and I even lately have been putting timestamps to like, I'll stop a sentence halfway, and when I pick it back up, I'll say, okay, this was 10 minutes later. I don't even care. It's more so funny for me. And sometimes I like to, and that's the other thing, is you can just let out your most horrendous thoughts. I have been grappling with myself though, because the internal monologue making its way to the pages, I've been observing it, and it's a nice observation place to say, wow, that's what my internal monologue saying right now. Like, instead of just letting the words be believed, because especially during the middle of depression, there's a time when you just don't want to fight it. Like, you're just like, this sucks. My internal monologue's probably right. I probably don't have what it takes to do this. Like, and you're just writing the nastiest things. And then you looked at the next day, you're like, yeah, she needed like a nap and some food. And so it's nice to observe without holding the words to be too completely true. And even journaling, like, doesn't have to be your most truest thoughts. It's just whatever's in your head onto the paper. Because the more, and this is more of an anxiety tip, the more you let it ruminate up here, the more your nervous system is going to keep believing it, and you have to keep refiltering those thoughts out, because in the middle of, and Mom, you got the whole scoop Saturday, but when you're consistently ruminating on the same thoughts, it kind of like wraps up and speeds up on itself, like a ice skater. If your arms are out here, you don't spin very fast, but as you pull them in, you spin really fast. That's the equivalent of rumination in my brain. Is the more I don't get it completely out, and like, sometimes it looks like beating a dead horse, for lack of a better term. And that's why the morning pages, truly, I feel different when I don't journal, because it's like, oh, I didn't get all that crap out at the beginning of the day, so it's going to ruin the rest of it. So anyways, journaling, not performative, useful tool. Number 6, I'm not a good group friend, but I'm a wonderful one-on-one friend. And I notice this all the time, but what I love is being able to hang out one-on-one with people and actually get to dig into their brain a little bit. And what I really appreciate is those deeper conversations, to be able to really learn about them. Because I feel like in group dynamics, there's always that weird, no matter how much we want to turn it off, there's still the social dynamics of not saying weird things, or not like asking weird questions, or not like, there's always just something that's like getting in the way. And I just am really good at the one-on-ones. And I was nice to, like, once I figured out that I'm a great one-on-one friend, I stopped trying to create friend groups for myself, or try to get myself into friend groups, because I realized that belonging does not mean belonging to I don't have to belong to a whole group to feel belonging in a friendship. You know what I mean? And I don't think anyone ever spoke about how okay it is. Anyways, okay, number 7, we are masterclass at pooping our pants in public, but also let's avoid dairy. If you ever, and this is where, if you're in a pinch, if you are having a cramp that was unexpected, if you're wearing pants a little too tight after eating chicken Alfredo at Olive Garden, like, I have a whole 12-step plan on how to get yourself out of that situation, how to avoid the least amount or like avoid the maximum amount of public humiliation, get home safely. Like I am masterclass at that. And I really learned mostly about it from ages 17 when I got my gallbladder out till like 20, I think 23, 24 is when my stomach started settling down. But even, I mean, you guys heard me on the Vegas recap, like my stomach on a 4-hour drive, horrific. Anyways, Amber, you hold more power in one eyebrow than some people carry in their whole body. And I'm going to say that again. This eyebrow, although needs a bit of a, let's just clean them up a little bit. These eyebrows carry so much fucking power. And these eyeballs, it's like the combo. Like I don't really need face, but if I like happy-go-lucky, and then if I hit you with one of these, oh, you know you're fucked. Or if I hit you with like a this, skirt, backpedal, and I don't and that's the problem. Is I even had to say this to my coworker Matt. Don't look at my face. Hear my words. I'm not mad at you. Nothing's wrong. My face just looks like this. And so, the number of times in my life I have been told that I have resting bitch face, that I look angry, that I am intimidating. It's like I need to study the lack of muscles in my cheeks. And then also, I would smile if there was something to smile about. I love to laugh. But yeah, so I think once I found out how much power my eyebrows wield, it makes me more cautious. I try to be more cautious with reacting to things, especially working in a job where you need people to tell you the truth. You just gotta like, this little wrinkle here gets me into trouble. Because the shock and bewilderment that I experience on a day-to-day, that's where these wrinkles come from. I'm like, oh, that's what we're going to say now. Oh, I don't know if that actually played. Exactly. But yes, when you find out how much power your facial features hold, weaponize it. Number 9, ADHD diagnosis is extremely important. It's more than just a title. And I've been hearing this from a lot of other late diagnosed female women who are thinking about getting diagnosed, and they're like, well, it's just a title. Not just a title. It is and I'm not trying to even say it's a identity shift. It's more of just, you finally have a word to explain all those little teeny tiny weird quirks that you've never had a word for. You just thought you were a quirky crackhead that like gets a lot done, but also has like very extreme manic periods. No, it's good to get a diagnosis because then you can Google the right things. You can then say, is this an ADHD symptom? And then that begins back to my number 4, the values shame breakdown. I digress. Number 10, and this is a recent development. We are a creator. We create things, and some of those things are useful, and that's okay. I think it's the more, like, I am an industrial engineer, but then when I really break it down, I like to build things. I like to build useful tools. I am a tool builder. I create things like videos. And this, I think I have to start calling it a podcast, live stream. But like, I create things, and that's okay. Pretty cool. Number 11, we don't care about traditional sports. Stop keeping up with the headlines for lame-ass dudes. There, I said it. When I stopped centering men, and I'm going to talk about what centering men means. When I stopped centering men, I realized how many of my own hobbies I now had time for. Pretty crazy. And what centering men can look like is and some of this is just care for humans, some of this is centering men. When I managed a team of 10, there was I think it was like 6 dudes, 4 women, or 7 dudes, 3 women. And I would keep up on all of the latest, like, local, like the video games they were playing, the movies they were watching, the TV shows they were watching. Like, I would keep up on so much of it just so I could have conversations with them during the day. Now, that was partially, I just wanted to be a good manager and like care actively about their lives. But I would do that with like lame ass dudes I was trying to date too. I would be like, oh, he likes golf. I'm going to learn how to golf. Like, I truly, if we look back at the 2020 Try New Things challenge back on the Amjamber account, I was trying to learn hobbies that would put me in places to be around more men that I wanted to date. Girl. No. What I realized, if you flip that and reverse it, if you enjoy doing things and you go do more of those things in public places, there might be, on the off chance, that a man might show up there and do something you want to do. God bless. Now, what I'm not encouraging is men to start showing up to yoga studios and pottery classes and things. Don't invade our spaces. At this point, y'all had your chances. You fucked it up. Be gone. But I used to keep up on like I had one boyfriend that liked the Mets. If you love the Mets, God bless. Love that for you. I did not. And he watched every game of the year as if it was the playoffs, I think is the word for it. He watched every one with the intensity of 1,000 Suns. I've never read more books that summer than that, but I would keep up on the games just enough to like have conversations and like, ugh, knock it off. Okay, that was a big life lessons though. Number 12. Oh my gosh, I gotta hurry up. Abundance over scarcity is and has entirely changed my outlook and operating system. Working at Anheuser-Busch, when you've got an alcohol, like if you're selling alcohol, you can only sell it to places that have like certain licensing and so much shelf space, and like everyone's fighting for the same scraps of shelf space. And it creates a lot of really important lessons, and I learned a lot, but operating out of abundance, so for instance, the non-alcoholic market, you can sell shit out of the back of your truck. You can sell things to a yoga studio. Like they don't have to have certain licensing, and putting myself in a more abundant place where there's room for everybody at the table is just completely changed my mindset around scare. Like when I start to see people saying, like, especially with AI, oh, if you don't get in now, you're going to be behind. First of all, every 6 months, everything in AI changes and adapts and grows. And just because you're not getting in on the front door of AI doesn't mean you can't just pick up right where everyone else is in a few months. I'm saying, like, obviously, do whatever you want to do. Get familiar if you want to get familiar. But I hate the messaging of, like, the scare tactics of scarcity, like the scarcity marketing of, oh no, 5 more minutes, like, don't miss out. The boat's leaving without you. Ugh, I hate it. Anyways, it's just like a lazy tactic. And that's where maybe in a few months, I'm going to get tired of working the hard way and then I give up and then this will age poorly, but whatever. 13, everything is energy and learning where it grows and escapes is important. Especially with people, and I am so susceptible to, especially in this current duration of time, my empathy has been so fucking peaked. Like, if anyone's feeling any kind of negative energy around me, I am absorbing all of it, which is something I got to work on personally, but like, you have to be aware that your energy has the potential to be absorbed in different ways to be able to protect it. And I, for a long time, was giving mine out for free all the time. But again, in depressive periods, your nervous system is convincing you that self-isolation is an energy saving tactic because depression sucks all the energy out of you anyway. Makes you believe that you just cannot do anything. And then it says, well, being around those people, being around your friends, being around anybody is going to suck so much energy out of you. So don't go around people because you just don't have the energy for it, which makes you, say it with me now, self-isolate further. And then you don't realize how much energy you used to be getting from people, but now can't. I want to get through the rest of the 31, but I think a good thing to say there is it is tough when you're going through these depressive times and you've like when you look up like how to solve or how to help my depression or how
Stealing
to
our
help these
lives.
things, the first thing it says is like tell someone, lean into your support system. And what's tough is when your support system doesn't have the tools or doesn't have the exact thing that you need to itch the scratch in that moment. And so then if you're when you finally if you're especially if you're like a very self-isolative person, you finally reach out for just a little bit for connection and it doesn't go the way you think, is so destructive. Now thankfully, I don't let the first bad attempt prevent me from my second and third and fourth and fifth bad attempt. But if you're not prepared for that, it can wipe you right the hell out. So anyways, being aware of your energy is important. 14, emotional dysregulation in both directions can be harmful to your focus. I don't think many people everyone talks about emotional dysregulation and you think frustrated, upset, angry, overwhelmed. But you don't think about how also a dysregulated state could be excited, like I don't really even have that many words because it's not talked about often enough, but like elated, happy, like really excited is the one that I'm thinking of. And that's where I had to find, and it's got a real word for it. It's the window of tolerance. And I'm not describing it exactly the way this says, because this is more going from like, it's talking about like the window of tolerance, if you Google it, isn't exactly what I'm getting at, but there is kind of a window of tolerance of like being mega excited. I'm equally as distracted. And so I've had to tamper down really good news and not let really bad news rock my sails. And I think that was a lesson that nobody really brought up. Also, number 15, you are capable of daily and weekly habits, as you see with this live stream. The next few are like kind of silly and quick. 16, heels are kind of fun. Take up your space, girl. Fee fi fo fum on these rats. Because who cares if they're not tall? Just wear sparkly shoes and heels if you want to, because like truly, who cares? Which brings me to number 17. He's not 6 or 6'1". If he says he is, he's actually probably lying to you. If you're on like a dating app or something, 6 and 6'1" means 5'9". Maximum. Otherwise, I'm 6 feet tall. What a dream. Number 18, tool pens are the best for me. This is, let me see if I can get it to. Ooh, focus, influencer girl, tool brand. These pens, they were at Office Depot on the like, you know when you're at the register and you're right next to the register and they're just got like that like kind of the throwaway stuff. You'd think that they're selling you bullshit stuff there. They're not. The best. I will be and of course this is a horrific example of it, but they're the best pens and that's what I believe. Number 19, you are the perfect mixture of your parents, and it is beautiful to reflect in the moment neat things you do that come from both of them. So there's a silly thing where, well, obviously you guys are very familiar with Mama Donna. We're very similar. That's all the ADHD creative care for people. That's like that segment of my world. And then similarly, like almost the opposite, not quite, my dad. So he just recently mounted his desktop monitor to his side table upstairs. He used to have a laptop. And then he mounted that and he wired it all the way to the basement desktop computer, which is so hilarious because I similarly get I get tired of the laptop sitting on me. So I'm like, oh, that would be a fantastic idea. And then I looked at his setup and So when he's sitting with like the monitor up, he's got this little desk that comes off of his like he's got a desk for where his keyboard and mouse go. And so I have my sewing board, and then I have my keyboard goes on here and my mouse goes on here, but the mouse kept falling off, so I put this like little, I think it's like a wire holder. Put this here so that my mouse wouldn't keep falling off. So just look at my dad's like computer setup and care for electronics. It's just very cute to like realize I didn't fall out of the coconut tree and like learn these behaviors. Like these just were in my DNA. So that's very nice. Number 20, I'm not controlling, but I am very particular about particular things. I think you guys know that. Number 21, Nod Pods, sleep masks are life-changing. We already talked about it. 22, winter always ends. It may not feel like it, but winter does always end. Seasonal depression, the lack of sunlight truly is so horrific for my mental health. And that's where right now I'm going through, for any men listening, shield your ears. But I was tired of, and this podcast, this is going to go on for probably another 20, 30 minutes. So sorry about it. It's my birthday. Okay. So what happened was every month I was experiencing the craziest PMDD. I think it's PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, which basically during PMS, it's very similar to that, but it's a severe chronic medical condition causing debilitating mood shifts, depression, anger, anxiety, a week or two before menstruation. And what would happen is I felt like I just couldn't do anything. I was so shitty, and like my trigger, like it's like my cup hath runneth over before anything happened in the week. And so during those times, if I can't control my emotions, I can't be around people. So you're self-isolating, it's piling on. So PMDD. And so similar at the same time, there's also the concept of endometriosis. So endometriosis. So basically, this is where it's a painful disease where tissue similar to the uterine lining grows outside of the uterus, causing inflammation, severe pelvic pain, infertility, and can create a lot of scar tissue. And so it creates a lot of like, it was getting to the point, and this is going to matter in a minute, is getting to the point when I was like PMS, when things are moving and grooving down there, sitting hurt, laughing hurt, like I was sore in the morning. I was just existing in so much pain. And so when I was talking to my lady doctor, she was like, well, what we could do is just decrease the number of times you're menstruating. So we're going to put you on NuvaRing because the pill ain't going to work for me. IUD, not going to work for me. Those have both been horrific for me mentally in the past. So I was like, okay, NuvaRing. And what I didn't remember is that when you're fucking with the hormones in your body, you're gonna lose your fucking mind. And so for the last 6, 7, 8 weeks, I've been on it for like 7 weeks. I have been going through and if you go to my TikTok, you can see just how crazy I've been. Like, not crazy, it's just the hormones in my empathy centers are just fucking out of this world. So to be able, and this goes back to the original point of the TikTok at the beginning where we were talking about optimization, taking something from you that you didn't know you had. And so what I saw was the PMDD was a unoptimized, like a useless week in my productive month working. By trying to fix that, I ruined so much more things. And so instead of and like, of course, this is just the ramp up period. And I know there's a lot of people that once they're fully on it, things level out and they're fine. Guess what? I gave up at week 7. I was like, the thoughts are so loud. The social anxiety is so, the rumination is so fucking nuts. Like everything is just so in your face. I was like, I would like to live. So I'm like, pump the brakes. So by me trying to fix a problem, I actually made it just infinitely worse. And so that I like to say winter always ends. So hopefully the sun comes out soon. 23. The key to press on nails, and of course, don't look at my pinky. The key to press on nails is Dremeling, then nail polish remover or an alcohol wipe, then super glue those bitches on. I went so many years of my life just thinking that I just didn't have fingers for press on nails. And all I needed to learn is that the alcohol wipe takes off any oils from your nails, and these stay on for like 2 weeks if you don't fuck with them like I do. 24. $60 can get you an all-day spa in Vegas when you're waiting to fly out. So if you're waiting, like a lot of the Midwest flights from Vegas go out at like 7, 8, 9 p.m. So you're waiting all day. You're not in your hotel. But what you could do is you could drop your luggage at the front hotel. Then Mandalay Bay has like a day spa where you can just pay to have quiet hot tubs, steam rooms, saunas, cucumber water, nice ice towels. Are you kidding me? $60 to pay to get out of a hangover? Because I was sleeping in the middle of like the casino on the floor, like barfing. So anyways, that's a pro life tip. 25, you will learn how to swim and ice skate. Who knew? I went from getting like a D in swimming in high school to learning how to swim as an adult. So huge. 26. Yes, there's an Excel esports competition and it's full of the most brilliant people. Huge. If you could have told 2022 Amber that I was going to meet some of the most brilliant people that are so inspiring and know some of the craziest shit on the planet, she would have never thought. 27. Plucking your eyebrows prevents the breakout you get when you go to the get your eyebrows waxed at the salon. No matter what wax they used, no matter what oils, no oils, water, whatever, I break out completely when I get my eyebrows waxed. And so to maintain all this power, pluck them. 28. Data, logic, and honesty will decrease about 1,898.714% of the frustrations interpersonally and professionally. Truly, I have never been good at lying. I can't keep track of them. There's only so much room in this noggin. So by using data, logic, like data, repeatable logic, and honesty saves me a whole lot of time. 29. Your intuition is rarely wrong, just often early. And I had to figure that out over many, many moons, is normally that gut instinct, that itchy feeling, is trying to lean me in a direction. 30, your highest engaged video will be 1.8 million views of your dog burping and farting. That's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, guys. 31. Nah, 31's stupid. Okay, the honorable 32 that now is becoming 31 is perfectionism can creep into your nervous system disguised as integrity. And I technically finished right on time. Yeah, so if you tuned in for the 31 of 31, I feel like I don't have like a lot of like super impactful like lifelong lessons. But those are my favorites at the moment. I'm sure next year I'll have a new idea. But anyways, for the last few minutes, I think that's it. I think I've talked out what I needed to talk out. And thankfully, me starting a few minutes late and my OBS fucking me right off, I just don't have all of the tears that were welling up at the beginning. I'm just good. So that's what I have for you this week. Next week we'll be back on our bullshit doing actual engineering stuff. But yeah, if you are a mildly burnt out woman of business, woman of many projects, I'm building a Discord called She's Got Projects, where I'm gathering a bunch of, it's basically a digital women's makerspace where we do stuff and Skillshare, and it's being built over time. But I'm excited to gather more people like me where we could talk about things we're working on, because this is my active way of combating the self-isolation, because the depression is still thick. But that's a problem for another time. Anyways, I'm gonna go